All right. Jason, take it away, brother. Let's get it started. So all these people.
Yes, how's it, everybody? Thank you guys for showing up to this call again. Uh, Lovely to see some familiar faces in here, you guys. So this call is specifically for charting learning. We're going to be learning from Pono Pips. This guy flipped his account 3 times in less than 2 months, you guys. He is killing it on the team, bringing so much value to us all. So first of all, let's give him some fires in the chat, you guys. Let's give him some fires in the chat just so we can get them on the same vibes. Let's go, you guys. All right, let's go. Let's go. So with that being said, you guys, we are learning a lot from this guy, and he's making us money, you guys. And we're so lucky to have him because he's probably the only Hawaii educator that we have right now, and he's killing it, you guys. So I'm gonna let him take it away. Thank you, Pono Pips, for everything that you do, bro. I love the way that you break things down and your patience, bro. That's one of the things I struggle with, and being on the calls with you really taught me how to control myself more. So thank you, my brother.
Awesome. Thank you, Brother Jason. Really appreciate everyone jumping on. I know every one of you have some things to do, so I want to definitely get right to it. And we'll try to make this as simple as possible. And we're just going to go ahead and we're actually going to start talking about charting. Everyone's been jumping on. A lot of the new members, a lot of our Hawaii team really wanted to address some of the charting techniques and just kind of understanding mostly the basics and fundamentals here. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. I want to briefly go into that. I did drop something in the chat for everyone. If you haven't, I'll drop it again. It's just basically kind of a little bit of a 10 to 11 step process on what I do just for a basic trader. So anyone that's trying to familiarize themselves with anything that we got going on. Real quick, let me go ahead and share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see that. And then we'll get right to it. Okay, perfect. So right here, guys, what we have is we're just going to go talk about basics and fundamentals for the process of charting. And with that, the first things that we're going to talk about is learning your platform, understanding where can you chart. A lot of people don't even know that you can chart specifically right on Cash Trap. It's now available for you to chart. But before that, before you actually start charting on Cash App, we want to be able to actually use a platform. So currently I use TradingView. TradingView is the platform that I use. So if you want to do that, by all means, you're going to go to tradingview.com. Go ahead and create a free email profile. So you'll basically log in and create a login using your email. And there is a free version of it. You can also do a pro version or an upgraded version, which would allow you to chart multiple pairs at any given time. And so basically selecting TradingView, that's the icon up on the top. And with that, what you want to do is go ahead and learn everything about the TradingView platform. The TradingView platform has so much things to offer. And that's why I think it's really important that if you guys do start using any platforms, the number one thing you need to do, just like when you first joined IM Academy, right? When you joined IM Academy, the first things you were trying to do is learn everything that it had to offer, right? You could go to the Go Live educations, you could go to the training videos, you could kind of basically use the platform for your benefit. A lot of people don't even try to see how this platform can benefit them. I use TradingView quite a bit. I do like basically you can do a watch list adjustment, so you can select whatever pairs you want to go ahead and trade with. I'll go over that in a second. Market summaries, basically it gives you kind of what's been analyzed within either as simple as the minute charts or the hour or the day or the week. So you can learn some things about the market summaries. If you guys got nothing better to do and you have time, again, I will always say this: surround yourself with the language of trading. Go read editorials that they post. For example, there was one posted this morning on technical analysis, right? The top 10 editorial for an editor's pick is on there. Go ahead and read it. You got nothing else to lose, but to only to gain when you actually utilize the platform for its capabilities, right? And once you start doing that, you're going to enhance everything that there is to do and learn about trading. And then, of course, there is watching the educational things and videos, not just IM Academy, right? IM Academy offers probably a priceless amount of education on there, but also other platforms will allow you to increase anything you learn on the IM Academy. So I'm constantly looking at what TradingView has to offer, as well as other platforms. Again, so my concept with this whole thing is understanding the platform and what it has to offer. So right here, I did drop this in the chat, guys. This, I call it Pono Pip kind things. It's basic fundamentals and chart work. And we're gonna go ahead and get right into this. And realistically, you could follow these steps. It's a basic, simple way to start actually learning how to chart. This has nothing fancy on it right now because we don't need fancy if you're brand new. But even if you've actually been charting for a long time, there might be a few things that of value that it could add into your understanding. So definitely, if you guys could save this, I would do it. Most of this trading charting techniques, I was charting 6-7 years ago, guys. It was one of the most favorite things that I was doing was learning to chart. But by watching some of the IM Academy educators, I was able to learn a lot more. And especially going into favorite sessions by multiple educators. Arlette Colazo has a great one. Evan Cabral, so go in, check their strategies and their chart work ideas. But right now, what we're doing is we want to go ahead and start getting you into the basics. So with that, we're basically going to be using TradingView. The takeaways for the day are going to be understanding the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15, the 5-minute chart analysis here. So I want to go ahead and go jump right into charting. So let me go ahead and share another screen with you in a second. Go ahead and let me know if you guys can see the new screen. It's on TradingView. Let me know if you guys can see that.
Raja.
Okay, great. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at that right here. So right here, I logged in, right? I use my login. We're gonna go on to chart right here. This is where we go. Actually, I'll go over this real quick. So when I was talking about the platform, right? Here was the editor's pick for today. You can go in, click on it, go ahead and read this information. You have a watch list where you can basically add and select any pairs that you might want to trade, indices as well. But because we're doing HFX, I just use it specifically for this reason. So this is all located. These are mostly the pairs that I trade and I decide to chart. Again, you can just use this add symbol here. There's a market summary. You can go to the currencies and look at the market summary on each individual trading pairs if you would like. And then again, you can go in and just start reading. Never stop reading, guys. Never stop reading. Instead of I don't mean to bag on anyone, but instead of watching TV and not learning anything, obviously we do need to, we do need some reprieve from trading and watching, constantly looking at numbers and things. But absolutely just continue to read. So what we're going to do is go right into charts. So click on this chart icon right here. That chart icon will go ahead and pop up right there. With it, just waiting for this thing to load. So here we go. So here's the chart icon. This one currently is sitting at Euro USD. So basically, if you have a watch list here, guys, you can go through any of the pairs that you have on your watch list. For example, Euro JPY, GBP AUD, etc. So basically, you go in there. I want to go ahead. If you guys have a chart up and you guys want to follow along, you by all means, please do so. So when we go through the steps, right? The first step we want to do is select our pair. So I'm going to go ahead and select Euro JPY. Euro JPY. Let me actually clear this, remove indicators. So here comes up Euro JPY. It's usually pre-selected on whatever chart that it comes up with. You can actually change the chart by right-clicking on your mouse, or basically selecting on a chart screen here. You can select it. You can actually change the color scheme depending on if you want to do that or not. So you can do a bright white, or you can do a dark color. I preferably like the dark. It's easier on my eyes for me. But if you want to do white, by all means, you can do that as well. So from here, what I want to do is I want to select the 1 day. Again, this is real basic ideas. So for all of us, we want to go ahead and you want to select the 1 day. And what we're doing is we're actually starting to realize what the euro and the yen is doing. We can see just by looking at the 1 day chart that the euro JPY is on a massive uptrend. Basically, it's telling us that the yen has been pretty weak on the day chart. So we could say that's the indication that the European dollar is a lot stronger overall. However, we trade anything as simple as 1 minute to 3 minute strategies, right? So I would say that's just to get general idea on the pair. And then we usually select the 4 hour. So right here, I'm selecting the 4 hour, and I want to just basically kind of come into the general location of where the pair is at. And the rule of that is to actually basically select anything that's got highs and lows. So you could actually go in here, and what we're looking for is if we see any highs or lows. So when we do that, we're going to go ahead and select this trend line here. Select the trend line, drop this right here. All I'm doing is I'm just giving myself locations. I see wicks up here. So these types of wicks is where the highs were coming on at those 4 hours. So I want to go ahead and select the highest one. And so what I'm looking for is at least 3 highs and 3 lows, right? So 3 highs. So I got one here. I'm going to take this high here, and I'm going to select this one as well. So we're looking for 3 highs on the 4 hour chart. Boom. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of clean it up. I want to go ahead and extend it further a little bit ahead. So we want to project what's happening in the future. So just go ahead and drag this over. Let me know if you guys are following this. Go ahead and you guys can just put a yes in the chat or a 111 that you're following what's going on so far. What we're doing is we are selecting the 4 hour, and we are charting for currently the highs. And now what we want to do is look for lows. We preferably are looking for 3 highs and 3 lows. I only see 1 low here, and currently where it's at. We actually did mark a later, a previous high, and that's actually turning to a recent low. So I'm just going to go ahead and look for this one right here. I'm going to select this one because this is where we have a pullback. So this is just basic ideas right here, right? For a 4 hour. I see it here. I'm just going to extend it all the way out in line with everything. So it's just cleaning up my chart. If you guys did look at the note, it basically said you can select 1 or 2 colors. So if you're doing a 4 hour here, what I would suggest is picking a different color, just highlighting a different color. So what I usually color on mine is this orange color, and you guys can all do it differently. However, for me, I've been charting like this for quite some time. So I just select orange on the 4 hour chart. So I found some general zones and locations. Again, we're looking for 2 to 3 touches where it consistently does touch. But in this pair, for Euro JPY, we don't have that much. So I could check, let's just say, let's check Euro USD. So Euro USD, you can see that I've charted this pair quite a lot. You can see what I'm doing here. I selected a lot of the highs and low points, and that's my 4 hours. And I've extended the chart. So I want to go back to Euro JPY because that's what we were charting together. And basically, again, it's the same concept, how we chart. So I took the 4 hour. Now that the 4 hour I feel is complete, I want to go ahead and go to the 1 hour chart. So what happens is we did a general 4 hour, and now we're going into the 1 hour. So we go ahead and select where it says 4H, we're going to select 1 hour. And now what we're going to do is see a little bit more detailed locations. And we want to see where our 4 hours meet up. And we can see that, for example, at current location here, this one right here is a little low. So all you do is click on the line, and we're going to move it up to the wick, to the bottom of the wick here. This one is where you marked your low. So what we're going to do is we're going to check this, and we're going to see if it closed up right there. That looks fine. We'll leave it. Go to your other one on the 1 hour. We see it there. That looks fine. We'll leave it and go and check your 4 hour. Okay, so this is your 4 hours complete, and now we're charting the 1 hour. So the same thing wants to be done for the 1 hour. We want to look for highs and lows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at where are the highs. I see a multiple areas of highs right in here. So I do want to generalize this, right? And I want to generalize by basically charting this. I want to put here, and I want to do it where I change the color because I'm charting 1 hours now. So I usually make it white. So I've got my 4 hours in orange, my 1 hours in white. And what I'm trying to do is basically get highs and lows again. So here's another location of where it kind of wicked up, touched here. So I want to just connect this real quick. And then I want to look in here. Do I see any more highs? I do. It open, it wicked here, closed, wicked up there, open. So opened here and then wicked up and closed. So what I want to do is look for highs and lows again. So right here, I see some highs in this location. So I just want to go ahead and just mark like this. I see lows in this location where it touches multiple times. I want to go ahead and chart that like this. And then if you don't see anything else, you can actually come down here where current price is at, and you guys can see that it's wicked multiple locations. So it's never improper to chart. We just want to keep it as limited as possible. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just stop that really quickly and check the chat. I do have some people ask. Okay, so let's go ahead. I want to go check. If you guys understand what we're doing again, and you're following the concept, go ahead and just type 111. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to explain a few things real quick. So realistically, guys, just to make it as simple as possible, what we're doing is we're basically taking a general idea, and what we're trying to do is squeeze it down to be as specific as possible. So the reason why we're charting at the 4 hour chart is what we're looking for is when we're charting, what we're trying to see is where the support levels are and the resistance levels are. And what we're doing is, again, we're selecting high locations and low locations, and we're going to basically chart it so that way we can see where all of these lines can basically give us an area or a number where we can specifically consider how this is going to help us. So let me go back and share that again, and we'll just keep continuing. All right. Okay, so right here. So now that I've charted the 1 hour, I want to go ahead and actually extend it. I like to make things uniform as much as possible for myself. So I basically just come over here, and I actually want to pull it out towards basically all my lines. I like to have it a little bit more uniform and lined up, a little bit easier for me to see and make corrections if I need to. So now what I'm actually doing, guys, is I'm creating areas of what I think are support and resistance on the 1 and 4 hour. The importance about the 1 and 4 hour chart is the bigger the number. So the 4, the 1. So the bigger the number, the stronger the support and resistance. So when I finish with that, that's my basic locations, especially because what am I seeing? If this is the 1 hour chart, I'm seeing that price has been dropping. So this means that the yen has been stronger in the 1 hour chart, predominantly stronger. Yes, we see it pushing up here, but predominantly it's going down, and especially more recently, right? So what we're getting is we're getting ideas right away. soon as we start charting, we're understanding that currently with the 1 hour chart, the European dollar is weaker than the yen. So now what I want to do is, since we're done with the 1 hour and the 4 hour markings, basically they're straight trend lines. And this is very basic for us to get an idea. What I will do is I'll start going to the 15-minute. So we went 4 hour, 1 hour, and now we're at 15 minutes. Really important about the 15-minute is what we're looking at is we still want to start looking for trend ideas, consolidation, and we want to try to actually understand what we're seeing, right? So currently what I'm looking for is, if I was to look at the 15, you can even chart the 15. And how we're going to do that is I chart anything that's less than 15 minutes. So 15, 10, or 5 minutes, or even the 1, I usually select a different line. And what I'm going to do right here is I usually make this pink. And why I'm doing that is because I'm telling myself that the 15-minute is typically a little bit more weaker than the 1 hour. So it does support a lot of the times, but it has potential to break through. And I'm going to show you what I'm looking at, even like right in this location. So this is my 1 hour chart. The 1 hour was respected a lot stronger, right? We have it come up, it was respected, pushed down. It respected the 15-minute location, and it came back up, respected the 1 hour. Then it came back up, respected the 1 hour, and then look at what happened at the 15. We had a breakthrough. So what I'm saying is the 15-minute is usually weaker than the 1 hour trend line. Let me know if that makes sense to you guys. So you guys can go ahead and drop a 111 if that makes sense to you. What we're trying to understand is the importance of the level of supports and resistance, right? The 4 hour is stronger than the 1 hour. The 1 hour is usually stronger than the 15, and then etc. So as we start actually charting, you're going to start seeing this. When I say when we're looking for trend lines, consolidations, or anything like that from the 15, I would say this was a pretty solid consolidation location, right? It consolidated within the 1 hour band here, and then the 15-minute band. This is consolidation. Then we have what's called kind of a minor breakthrough, because it's breaking through our 15-minute trend line. And then what did it do? It created a newer low. But look at where this low hits. If you guys were to chart the 4 hour and you extend it all the way out, right? It even broke what's considered the 4 hour. So again, a 4 hour line, right, is presumably supposed to be stronger. And what happened? It actually ended up pushing up eventually. And then look, past support became the new resistance in this location. You're always going to hear this. If you're new, you'll always hear past support becomes the new resistance, or past resistance becomes the new support. And those are things that are always going to be handy for anybody that's brand new in trading and charting. So again, I charted the 15 here. I extended it all the way over. You can see that it's actually dropped below that. So you could actually say, okay, this is my 1 hour chart, currently going into the time that it's currently at, right? So with this in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to start working in ideas. And how we're going to do that, we're going to go to the 5-minute chart here. And what I look for in the 5-minute is mostly consolidation, and then I look for trend. So what I'm doing is I'm officially coming in and I'm seeing at the 5-minute a lot of consolidation here currently at where market price is. But I also know that it's currently sitting at right below this white line. If this is the 1 hour, this is telling me that it's potentially going to break it. So again, what we're doing is we're generalizing the idea on where price currently is at. So right here, this is just basic ideas. And what you can see is we have this thing that actually wicked a lot lower. So what you can do is just grab this 1 hour and pull it down to where the wick location is. This will allow you a better idea of where price could potentially get to. So this is the reason why we have it, is because, again, we're starting off in a much broader scale, right? And getting general location on the 4 and the 1 hour. But as we kind of start zooming into the 15 and the 5, now we're actually coming into a more detailed location on how we're going to actually decide how to take a trade. And then what you can do is we go into the 1 minute. The 1 minute is basically for execution. This is where you decide how you're going to execute this trade. So what I do see, right, is I see push up respecting my white line, which is my 1 hour. Again, the 1 hour is a lot stronger than my 15 or my 5. It's respected it every single time. And then it finally respected it in this location and it took off to the downside. So guys, we're seeing this thing pushing all the way down, right? And what I would be looking for, because we're at the 1 minute chart, is this is how you target ideas. I put a big happy face here because I'm expecting this thing to get to my happy face. This will make me extremely happy when it gets here because I will be looking for a trade idea. And it's because we are in the 1 minute. We are in the 1 minute, meaning the current location is actually moving at the 1 minute mark. So right here, what I would say is I do see this thing keep falling off, and that's how it would make sense to me. And that's basic chart work, right? From the 4 hour to the 1 hour to the 15 to the 5 and then to the 1. So let me stop that real quick and I'll share the other screen with you. But go ahead and just put the 111 if that makes sense to you guys, because that should give you a general idea on how chart working is currently actually going to start triggering your trading habits. And with that, what I would say is I'm going to go ahead and bring this up real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to load up something for me. Hopefully it'll pull up. We've been having some trouble with V-Day Forex this morning. Race options also wasn't letting me log in for some reason. I think we took too much money from them yesterday and today. So that might be an issue. And then, of course, the IM Academy. Anybody have questions currently? Go ahead and type them in the chat if you have questions. This way we can go ahead and address those questions if you have them. And then I'm going to explain a few things on how we're going to execute trades. Cool. Let's see. I came in late, already picked up so much. Okay, right on Tyrus Moss. That's awesome. Let me go ahead and share the screen with you guys again, and then we'll get right back to it. Okay, so here's you guys can see the PowerPoint again? We're good? Okay, so again, the takeaway, right, is how to break this down. We started with a 4 hour. We're basically doing a 4 hour chart, generalizing the locations on support and resistance. Do the same thing for the 1 hour. And then when you get into the 15 minute, because we're coming to exact location of where price point currently is at, we're going to look for consolidations. We're going to look for possible trends on the 15. And also we're going to look for reversals and breakthroughs. And what I mean by that, right, is, let me go to the next screen. I don't know why it's not letting me do it.
Michael, we got a question in the chat. How regularly do you chart a pair?
Okay, great question. So how do I chart a pair and how regularly do I chart the pair? So good question. Let me go ahead and share my other screen with you real quick. Very good question. Really appreciate that question, guys. So right here, so how often do I chart? Well, the good thing about TradingView is when you start charting, you can actually save your chart work. You can go up in here. It says auto save every 10 minutes. So I actually save my chart work. So definitely use this for your advantage. So you can save your chart. And what I do is I actually chart, let's just say that I create a schedule of when I want to trade. So one thing that you should consider is the time that you want to trade and where you'll be trading from. For me, I like to trade at home using my laptop and a screen that I can actually look at. Some people like to trade maybe using their cell phone or an iPad. So you got to consider multiple things on how you're going to address your trading habits. For example, so if I trade and I'm planning to trade at 7 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, which basically makes it 10 a.m. 7 a.m. Hawaii Standard. So it's going to be 10 a.m. Pacific. If I know I'm going to trade that time, I usually jump on an hour before and I start charting. And I usually look at what I charted maybe the night before. I also know that I chart only certain pairs because these are the pairs that I like to trade. For example, I follow Euro USD, USD JPY, Euro JPY, GBP AUD, and recently I started charting a lot on AUD JPY and Euro CAD. So I want to go in with a plan on why I chart and how I chart and where I'm going to select my time frame. So I do know that I will chart, say I will get up at 5:30 in the morning, go make some coffee, and go read some things. I usually tend to watch my favorite videos from top educators that are on the platform. So I'll just drink some coffee, watch that, or read some editorials. And then I start charting by 6 o'clock. And it's real fast. Once you guys start charting shouldn't take you longer than 10 minutes or so, just to get a good idea of where the market is going. And the reason why, again, so let's just say I did try to chart, like I'm going to go chart for, it's 9:38. I'm going to go ahead and chart for, let's say, I'm going to trade in an hour from now. Well, I've already have chart lines. The thing that I might want to do is, depending on what happened currently, I might adjust a trend line to a little bit more of an accurate location for something. So for example, you see all these wicks on the bottom here. It's really up to you. This is general location. Some people like to chart the wick on the red. So you'll see this, it wicked down here and it pulled back up. So you can move this trend line, right? Any given time. For me, I like to generalize and I like to take a little bit safer. I'm a little bit more of a conservative trader. So I like to give myself a little bit of a cushion, if you will. And so this is why I say 1 hour before. This way you can see if there was any reactions in the market. So here we go. I'm at the 15-minute. I really don't see much. I see respect here on the 1 hour. Some push downs here, but it's also kind of respecting this location. So if I was trading with the 15-minute technique, I'm going to put a level of possible support right here with a pink trend line. And that's just telling me that this pink trend line might support, but it actually might break. And then I'm looking for the 1 hour and a 4 hour area. So I've created 3 levels of support. And of course, the bigger the number, so the 1 hour, I would say that we'll see better support. The 4 hour, we would see even better support. So that's that's a good question though. I chart usually 1 hour before I decide to trade. If you don't have time to do that, by all means, it only takes 10-15 minutes to chart, depending on how many pairs you're planning on charting. And of course, I stay very simplified for a lot of people that I'm trading with. And that's really what I'm trying to do, is just make it a little bit more simple for you to just start getting an idea of how to better your trade entries. So hopefully that answered your question. Do we have another question in the chat? Awesome. Yeah, okay, cool. So right here, what I do have is the 5-minute. Again, even on the 5-minute chart, I'm looking for consolidations. I'm looking for trends. On this pair specifically, I don't really see too much besides consolidation. So those are things that you want to familiarize yourself with, is understanding that. Let me check to see if I can share this one again. So here we go. So again, realistically, right? It's always understanding the language that is offered to you. Anytime that you're charting, you're going to hear so many different things. You're going to hear people say pullback, breakthroughs. You're going to hear less level of support, more support. You want to start actually familiarizing yourself with when you're watching an educator, or even in your own understanding. The more you start using these terms for your advantage, what you're going to start doing is enhancing your trade capacity, because now it's always the same. Again, always be positive when you are getting ready to trade, or even when you start charting. Even if the market doesn't look good, don't take it as a negative thing and say, oh, the market looks like crap, or whatever you might think. What you need to go in is just say, okay, I'm going to be positive about this thing. I need to get the chart work done. Sometimes you will jump on a pair that you might like, and it's the most spikiest pair for a whole hour. So you might not actually get to chart it, even though you like that pair. So that's why you're able to chart all types of pairs. So again, no one has time for anything that's negative, right? We want to constantly be positive about everything. I want to go back and share this one with you guys. And I'm going to start enhancing a few more things for you. Let me know if you guys can see this right here. So again, how we're charting, right? And this is just to keep you guys understanding what we just did, just up to basically number 7. So we get on trading view, we start charting. Again, I chart about an hour out from when I decide to trade. I select the 1 day for just an overall movement. I'll select the 4 hour. I mark my highs and my lows. Again, you can mark your highs using a green trend line. This way, you know that when it gets there, those are your high points. But a lot of people actually reverse it. They'll mark their highs with a red, and I'll show you why after. But again, pick 2 to 3 points of contact on your highs and lows, and then extend your trend lines. Move to the 1 hour, do the exact same thing. Then move to the 15-minute. Right here is really important on the 15-minute. You're going to look for trends, consolidations, possible patterns. So a consolidation is a type of pattern, but you're also looking for that support level to either break or hold. You're going to look for reversals and pullbacks. And then most of those reversals and pullbacks tend to happen on the 15, the half hour, or the 45, right? And that's really important as a trader to start recognizing those things before they do happen. And then select the 5-minute chart and start figuring out possible movements for calls and puts. Let's see, what was that in the chat? So do you clean your charts after trading or rechart the following day? Yeah, I definitely do, Isaac. Let's just say that the chart work starts getting a little bit messy. And you have multiple trade lines. I tend to definitely have a lot of things marked up as you start progressing. I will clear my chart and restart it. Absolutely. So definitely a good question. If it does get really messy and you guys start using multiple lines, for sure you want to go ahead and actually reselect those ideas. So even like this. Let's see, GBP, AUD. For example, like I took off a lot of my trading things because we were about to chart today. So I did take off, but this is what happened prior, right? This is on a 5-minute. When I was looking at this 5-minute, guys, I was looking at certain entry points that I was looking for while I was trading. Here was the trend breakout. Then it broke the 1 hour. So these things started clicking, especially when you go back and you start looking at your guidelines on how you trade and chart. Let's see, what was that again? Yeah, no worry, for sure. Let's see. And then so how this works, right, is when you guys start taking trades, for example, Euro JPY, we'll go back into that because we were charting it. So Euro JPY, let me get into where it's currently at. So you can see that this trend line I made pretty much about 10 minutes ago, right? I extended it over. It's supported on a 15-minute trend idea. It's 9:45. So at the 45-minute, right? Literally at the 45, we basically are gonna say, okay, what's gonna happen here? We could see this thing respect or break. It just depends on what it wants to do. So again, we're just creating possible trade ideas, and you can see it right here, where on the 1 minute, you're starting to create a possible trade idea, and then you can use your algorithms. For example, you can use cash trap, right? Here we go. You go to your strategies. Some of you use different things. I use cash trap to trade with, and I chart based on what cash trap offers. So I trade on using a 3-minute trade strategy with oh shoot, wrong one. All good. We'll select that one too, and I'll show you that too. So this is Liberty, right? I have access to Liberty, the DeLorean. We just got a new one called Colors. So you can actually change over, just move it to Hourglass if you selected it. So you can use multiple strategies to enhance your trade capacities. So this is Hourglass and Liberty, right? You could choose the pair that you wanted to trade. We're trading Euro JPY. So right here. Now you want to look for confirmations, right? Using Euro JPY. So now that we've charted out everything, going into our basically into our 1 minute idea. When I do that, I do want to have a little bit more confirmation for things. So I do have a favorite Bollinger Band that I use, and this adds an extra tool for me to get a better trade idea off of. This is the Bollinger Band here. It is for the resistance locations and the support levels. So I do use a Bollinger Band in my trading view, which allows me to get into a better trade idea. Some people like to use volumes as well for how price is moving. I tend not to, because I strategize using cash trap mostly, right? So with that idea, I'll look at cash trap. Cash trap is currently giving a put. It is 26 power for Euro. It is 47 for the yen. If you guys go back into your trading view, we do see that it's been on a downward position. It actually turned in literally just now into about a 4.5 point trade setup. We have a down arrow. It's currently right below the EMA. It hit an old resistance level. We have the cross down and a push down as well. Again, that was a 4-point trade idea right there on Euro JPY. Of course, they didn't want me to take it because we took too much money from them this morning. So, but again, we're using our trading ideas to basically get a location of where we're going to get our entry. And that's at the 1 minute. The idea came out. We did see the respect level when I just charted this quick trend line, because what I'm doing is I'm charting where a possible area of support is. If you were to go to the 5 minute, because it's a 5 minute trade algorithm that you're looking at, I usually tend to look at the 5 minute just to see what's happening. And what we're looking at is it's still be a wick at the EMA right here on the 5 minute, respected it and pushed it straight back down. Eventually, you guys will get so good at analyzing your trade ideas that all of this chart work is going to start really, really enhancing your trade positions for actually getting into a trade. And that's really on a basic level of chart work. So if that makes sense to you guys on basically how to chart from the 4 hour all the way down to about the 5 minute, by all means, drop a 111. And then let's go ahead and start kind of analyzing ideas and questions. So if you guys have any, we would love to hear it. It's actually going to be about 9:50. So we want to leave some time. And again, this is a basic idea of how we actually chart. So let's go ahead, and if you guys got questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask, and then we can start answering some questions. Once explain about the trend lines. Okay. So question on trend lines. Most of the trend lines that I've drawn were basically for support and resistance. You could actually generalize when I trade, just for ideas. Sometimes I actually will draw like a trend line like this, And what happens, why I do that, right, is I draw the trend line, and then you can actually just do a note, for example. And here you basically will start saying sells. So right here, what we're going to tell ourselves is we're going to remind ourselves just by like putting this here. When I see this, I'm like, okay, I'm looking for sells. So I'll trade using a sell idea. Obviously, I'll change the colors and things like that, but this is just for letting you know. But trend lines are right. What I did for the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15, the 5 are basic trend lines for support and resistance. That's what I did. Anybody else got questions on that?
Hey, Micah, this is Darren.
What's up, Darren?
Hey, how's it? So, just to confirm, when you're drawing out their resistance and support lines,
Yes.
the 4 hour, like mentally, the 4 hour would be the baseline, like stronger than the 1 hour,
Yep.
and then the 1 hour stronger than the 15, and so forth.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So basically, when Darren is asking, when we chart the 4 hours and the 1 hour charts, the 4 hour is typically the strongest area of respect or resistance that you could say, and then the 1 hour to the 15 to the 5, and then absolutely at the 1. So anything less than 15 has a tendency to either not respect or hold as long as a 1 hour or a 4 hour. So definitely that's how we can get a better trade idea for sure. Great question, Darren. Anybody else got questions? So basically that was a basic idea of our initial charting for the 4 hour, the 1 hour, 15 and 5. What we do want to do is start progressing into the trade idea. And that's something we want to follow up with next week. Because we want to come on next time and we want to see everyone have their charts ready to go, the 4, the 1, the 15s. And what we want to do is actually go in and try to start seeing if our chart work is starting to match. For me, I'm going to see if it matches with Cash Trap. So I will start looking at how to get you the proper entry at using the 1 minute. So we are going to start diving into a little bit more executed position on trades. And that's what we want to start doing, is be able to jump on now with anybody that's been on this call and then say, okay, here we go. Like, let's go look at a couple trade ideas. And we're going to see how well our chart work holds up to those trade ideas. Then we can also say, okay, I might have this trend line right here. Let's just say I have this trend line down here. You might have a question as to like, why do you have your 15-minute trend line here when I have mine's, like here? So this we can start addressing as we start jumping on, which is going to really help each and every one of you that maybe are not as consistent with your chart work. And then we can start actually moving on. So after a while, the 4, the 1, the 15, those are just going to be things like, okay, yeah, I already know that's what's there. Then when you start doing the 5 minute, you're looking for possible trends. At the 1 minute, you're looking to execute your trade based on your algorithm that you're using. But if that makes sense to you guys, I definitely hope that helps a little bit. Again, we want to be able to jump on the next session, have you guys all charted out and start looking at entries and then going for maybe a trade or two, just to see how our chart work can really help us in how we trade. But I want to go ahead and just leave it for a few more questions if there is any. If not, Lorenz, you guys want to add something? Jason or Sean or anybody, feel free to open up your mic.
So, but that's really something that I just learned too, how you the 4 is stronger than the 1 hour. I did not know that, you guys. So super grateful for you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is a very useful information, really. I'm very happy with the class.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mira. Thank you for hopping on, Mira. And yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, this is why a lot of our Hawaii team has been successful trading, because we're consistent, and Micah's constantly been pouring all this knowledge into us. And charting is one of the most, if not the most important skill set when it comes to trading, because even just understanding, like Jason said, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15, the 5 minute is crucial. And a lot of the times we overlook all of the videos we watch in the academy, and we don't see this type of, and that's why I always like to say the way Micah is able to articulate the market and explain it to us in a way that we can understand is key. So once again, Pono Pips, so super grateful for you dropping all this sauce and this knowledge to us. I will be dropping the recording later on this afternoon, so guys, please send it out to your people. This is everything, right? And so we
Yes, sir.
definitely want to share with the whole team so that the whole team can win as well. So thank you, Mira, for staying up and staying with us.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You
Awesome.
guys,
Go
drop some
next time
fires in the
too.
chats for Pono Pips, guys.
Oh, yeah,
Fires in the chats.
Yeah, right on, guys. Thank you so
Let's go.
much. Absolutely. If you guys have further questions, you guys can reach out to any of us. This is what we love doing this. I would agree with Lorenz. I think charting is probably one of the greatest assets to self development in trading. It wasn't until we actually had more educators. I was able to take the time to actually watch a lot of the educators because I knew I was lacking in my chart skills or trading capacity. And once I started really, really understanding algorithms for what Cash Trap does, my chart work. So instead of having a 5-point trade, I was literally having a 10-point trade. And that's really what it was coming down to, was my chart work and the trade algorithm was actually coming together so much more accurate. And I started realizing, like, wow, if I just jump on and chart just for a little bit, even if it's just one pair, and I focus on that one pair for the entire day, then the entire week, then the entire month, and that's all I traded, I guarantee you will see a difference in how profitable you will become, because you don't need to jump around to 20 different pairs to get the bag. If you can understand Euro USD and USD JPY, like Matty Pips tells us, that literally those are the two pairs that he focuses on when he trades Cash Trap. Why wouldn't you want to do the same? That guy was able to turn his account into millions of dollars, even recently thousands, with a $500 account. What I would say is, if you're brand new, take the next 3 months again to just learn to chart, and take only 1 or 2 pairs and just constantly chart it to the point where you start getting super stoked, where you put a happy face there and you literally watch it hit the happy face and just shoot down, and you're just like, dang, my chart work is impressive. That's literally what it comes down to, and that's how you're going to start seeing some greater I would say experience and success in trading. So definitely love it, guys, love it.